This is a visit to the Augustus Saint-Gaudens National Historic Park in Cornish, New Hampshire. Coming from Vermont, you cross the Connecticut River on a covered bridge and up a wooded drive to Aspet, St. Gaudens' home and studios, the least visited park in the National Park System. The son of French and Irish immigrants, St. Gaudens was born in Ireland and grew up in the rough-and-tumble Bowery neighborhood of 19th century New York City. At 13, he was apprenticed to a cameo cutter, work which he described as miserable slavery. Nevertheless, he showed great promise, and after the Civil War, traveled to Paris, where he became the first American ever enrolled at the École des Beaux-Arts. It was here that he met Augusta Homer, who would become his wife and guardian of his legacy after his death. Probably St. Gaudens' best-known work, Abraham Lincoln, the Man, or more commonly known as Standing Lincoln, was commissioned for Chicago's Lincoln Park. Although today there are replicas in Mexico City, London, and at the Lincoln Tomb in Springfield, with reductions in many museums, including the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City and the Yale University Art Gallery. It was at least in part this commission that drew St. Gaudens to Cornish, New Hampshire. Charles Beeman, a lawyer who owned land and a house in Cornish, offered it for the summer, assuring St. Gaudens that in New Hampshire he would find many Lincoln-shaped men he could use as models. And indeed, the sculpture is modeled on a local man named Langdon Morse. The portrait is based on Leonard Wells Volk's life mask of Lincoln. The Farragut Monument was St. Gaudens' first public commission. The semicircular exedra on which the sculpture stands was designed by architect Stanford White. Farragut began his military career at the age of 9 and remained on active duty until his death at age 69. He is best remembered for his quotation of "Damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead." Although St. Gaudens was an extremely hard worker, life at Aspet included diversions, such as a 9-hole golf course, a bowling green, and a hockey rink, with paths through the woods connecting the various properties of Cornish Arts Colony members. Some of the trails still exist, like the Ravine Trail just north of the main house. St. Gaudens National Historic Park hosts the oldest continual artist residency program in the National Park Service, dating to 1969. On June 22, 1905, St. Gaudens, 20 years as part of the Cornish, New Hampshire Artist Colony, was celebrated with an open-air play entitled A Masque of Hours, The Gods and the Golden Bowl, written by Louis Shipman, with music by Arthur Whiting, performed by members of the Boston Symphony Orchestra. Maxfield Parrish created the actors' masks and played the centaur Chiron. Other notable actors included the architect Charles Platt, painter Everett Shinn, and the poet Percy MacKay. Upon his death in 1907, Augusta had the play's temple recreated in marble. The temple is the final resting place of the St. Gaudens and other family members. The Mystery of the Hereafter is a bronze sculpture commissioned by historian Henry Adams to honor his wife's death by suicide. The memorial is meant to reflect mental repose, calm reflection in contrast with the violence or force of nature, rather than grief or mourning. This is the Robert Gould Shaw Memorial, first unveiled on Boston Common in 1897. Initially planned as an equestrian figure, the parents of Colonel Shaw asked the artist to also memorialize the men their son had led in battle. St. Gaudens ended up modeling around 40 heads of African American men he hired to pose. The memorial depicts the soldiers marching to war with an angel overhead holding poppies close to her body, a symbol of death or an omen of what was to come. 3 months after joining the war, 600 members of the 54th Massachusetts Infantry led an assault on Fort Wagner in Charleston Harbor, South Carolina. 285 men were killed, missing, captured, or injured. The monument, showing bravery and sacrifice, which took Saint-Gaudens 14 years to complete, is the first well-known American civil monument to include dignified representations of black men. Please subscribe to our channel. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, and you can always comment below.